Hey everybody, welcome to my booth. I'm Jay, and today's sample is from Jenny, and this is a piece that she wrote herself. So we'll give it a listen and provide any feedback that we can. Before we dive in, though, I just wanted to touch on a few things right quick. First, this is being filmed the day after the 2024 election, so I won't spend a ton of time on it, but I just wanted to say that this space and myself, we and I will be here for folks. Always for voiceover stuff, but if there's any other thing that you might need or feel that you're wanting support-wise, I'm here. So please don't be shy. Reach out. My contact stuff is down in the description. You can always talk here. And I've been looking at setting up a Discord for all of us to chat, give each other feedback, pick each other's brains, maybe start doing some group session type stuff. And so if that's appealing to folks, let me know and I'll look at setting that up. But this community means a lot to me, and it's always lovely spending time with you all. So just wanted to say that. And then, of course, the usual spiel. If you like this stuff and you find it helpful, there's buttons down there for you to click. If you'd like me to review audio of yours, just like we're about to do, there's a form in the description. Send me some audio. And there's also coaching on my website if you want to do something like this, but one-on-one instead of YouTube. Okay, let's launch in. Take us away, Jenny, away.
Gray haze seemed to ooze from the very landscape itself. Trees, knotted and gnarled, twisted and barren of leaves, weep for a forgotten time of flora and fertility. In the distance, the howl of predators pierces the dissonant silence.
Okay, so pausing really quickly. You're a good writer, my friend. I listened to the whole sample and I love this sort of style of writing. The imagery, all really cool. I'm a big fantasy fan, and I don't know that this is necessarily fantasy, but anything that has really evocative, clear, and just multi-layered imagery is really, really lovely. So at first listen, just that short little sample, your recording quality sounds great. I think that you have got solid equipment. You've got a really solid space. You've set it up well, I think, in terms of either the way you've processed it and or what your recording space is. So that's really great. I also am really impressed that you're able to pull this voice off. It's really stunning in a lot of respects. That said, I do think that it would probably be better I have a couple concerns. One, this sort of voice, it doesn't sound like you're at risk of doing damage to your vocal cords or anything like that. But I don't know, like for myself as an example, if I were to do a voice like this for a full book or a full story, I would get very tired very quickly, vocally speaking. So if you're feeling fatigued fairly quickly using this voice, I might suggest going more or drifting closer to your natural speaking voice and dialing back or just altogether losing the gravelly aspect of it, and reserving this type of voice or this specific performance for if your story has characters or moments where this can be lent to. Then I think it would be really, really effective. My other thought is this tone. While I think it's really, really cool, I'm a little concerned for listeners that they'll be able to sustain the attention to it. After a while in listening to this sample, my mind starts to focus more so on your vocal performance more than the things that you're saying, or at least they're competing in a way that I would prefer to focus more on the words personally. So I would be interested to hear what this would sound like in your natural voice, and taking all of the atmosphere and texture that you're imparting you by virtue of the vocal quality, and seeing if you can do that in the way that you tell the story, the way that you're using the specific words. So as an example of what that might be, instead of once upon a time there was a dragon, if I went, once upon a time there was a dragon, and the clean tone without the rasp and gravel to it, I think will be easier for listeners to latch onto and sustain throughout a full story and audiobook. And if there's a moment where it makes sense to dip into this, then I think go for it, because it's a really cool mode of vocal production, particularly if you feel you can do it safely. Let's keep going.
The cries of beasts that hunt neither for sustenance nor pleasure, but out of a supernatural compulsion to sunder all who enter this cursed land with any joy or levity.
One thing also that I think, shifting more to your natural voice over this gravelly one, in this little section here, I think because it feels like we're focusing on the voice rather than the story being told. And this is such a lovely passage. The beasts that were here, they hunted, and rather than do it like the imagery is so, the imagery does a lot of work for you, I think, in other words. And focusing on telling that story rather than this type of vocal production would allow me to latch into these images a bit more, I believe.
With every step on the narrow path, your foot sinks deeper and deeper into the marsh, the mud and muck clinging to your battered boots. You wonder if you'll reach a point where the swamp refuses to release you. You look at the other members of your party and can't help but think that perhaps you all have made a mistake. With the dire situation and the feeling of impending doom in mind, what do?
Yeah, I love that, with the feeling of impending doom in mind. Really chilling. I would also maybe encourage, in passages like this, feel free to pause in the middle and use what I like to say, it's negative space. Let air fill moments to build tension. I'll show you what I mean.
You look at the other members of your party and can't help but think that perhaps you all have made a mistake.
So right now, you're going straight through that full thought, but I would contend you can add tension in a really beautiful way. But if you say, you look at the other members of your party and wonder if you all haven't made a terrible mistake. So by adding just little tiny bits of negative space, a little bit of air in the middle of different phrases, you can sort of lift images, let them hang there, and then let them rest with a bit of a question. And that can add to this sort of ominous tension. But really, really lovely story overall, Jenny. I love it. Let us know down below where we can find this once you've either recorded the full thing or if you've got it published somewhere. I'm sure folks would love to join you for the full ride. Anyway, for everybody, I hope this was helpful for you. Jenny, of course, I hope this was helpful for you as well. And again, I won't belabor it, because if you're like me, you've spent enough time thinking about it for now. But this space is always here for you, always for VoiceOver, but also if you just need it. So don't be shy. And until the next one of these, be well, everybody, and I'll see you there. Toodles.